Right, let's see if it's running okay. I've been trying to get my other YouTube video out before this session, but it just hasn't worked. The time's beaten me. Is my volume on now? I think it might have been off before. Hey, we're not doing very well here, are we? Let's get going.
I could hear you, Steve.
You can hear me all right. Cheers. Thank you. Right, I've not done any levels whatsoever. Let's have a quick roundup of what we're doing on the daily edge. Get the edge out. Where's the edge? The edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. Let's get it going. With all the thunderstorms coming out here. Lightning, I don't know if you can hear it, got some pretty bad weather on the way with national warnings of floods and staying in your houses and all that type of stuff. I'm just looking to catch this edge up now because I've gone and switched it off. Right, there we go. Let's have a little review. I don't think the edge is even working. Never mind. Not the edge, this YouTube stream, never mind. Let's get going. Just it would have helped if I put a note out to everyone to tell me what we were doing. Right, so let's have a quick look at the edge. Donk. So today we were looking, this morning, chunk. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Yes, so we closed the gap this morning and then we had a couple two trades on the gaps, hit the gap twice. Well, two individual trades for 2%. The DAX came down, closed the gap as well, which is quite nice for those people that traded the gap. Where's my meeting room participants? Oh, there they all are. Right, okay. I thought I was sat on my own then for one moment. Get rid of the bells. So I can't hear people joining and leaving. Right, okay. So that was done quite well. Gold, we had that really big pullback on gold, 114 pips, which was nice. And buying the dips have been trading in and out of gold, and then crude coming off. That's come off, and Euro USD trade. We're looking at that as well. I'll just have a flick through. So we've got US, I haven't put the levels in the US 500 yet. I'll very quickly run through of where we've got it. Please ignore in the background, there are lots of lightning and thunder and everything going off. So we closed the gap this morning and then, closed the gap this morning here. Then I wanted the market to come down into this area here for this gap on the 7th of October, which was obliged, and then the market run off. And I took some more money into the close. I didn't do the DAX, but I know some guys in the room that did the DAX. Jeanette, you think you did the DAX, didn't you?
Yeah, I caught
Yeah,
its close later on in the
yeah,
morning.
come down really nice and
Yeah,
beautiful 15-minute bar there.
yeah.
Beautiful 15-minute bar. And I'd like to say I took it, but I didn't. I looked at it and thought, oh, heck. And then another one come up. And I thought that would have been good. I didn't bother. Then another one come up and I didn't bother. And I thought, oh, dear, never mind. But when the American market goes live this afternoon, we can have a little go at that. Very quickly into the Forex, just to skip update where we are from this morning. Euro USD, this is a box of interest. I said left this morning, coming up and reversal into that. Took the reversal out of there and we're in the money and coming down. If you want to take this now, then there's a 15-minute bar here. I break that 15-minute bar and remind me, guys, I'll review that. And then on crude, coming down on crude this morning. Come on, come on, come on. We said crude would come down, didn't we? And I put in the 6044 on the daily edge. Here we are, the daily edge dunk. Said the market would crash through that this morning. So targets for the day were selling to strength, which we did at 6044 and 6004. And we've blown past that completely. The backside's broken out of $60 a barrel now. So that's great. For everyone watching on YouTube, what this here, because I should remind people, I've been told, this is the daily edge. This is an AI. Do you know what? Let's discuss that later. I'm not interested in selling the daily edge. It's just really good. It does itself. Let's get into the trading. We'll talk about the daily edge a little bit later. If you've never heard of it, go on the website and have a look. We've been using the daily edge using AI since April, May, and it's lost one day since then. That's how good it is. It's £10 a month. Email to your inbox every day telling you the trades to actually do. Right, US 500. We'll talk about the edge a little bit later. I have and will be releasing the 15-minute bar trade, a live day 15-minute bar trading, every entry, every exit, and why that video is going to be released after this session this afternoon. It tells you exactly how to get in there. It gives you a free 15-minute guide as well to support the 15-minute strategy. So that'll be on YouTube straight after this. Well, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock. Once I get rid of all the spelling mistakes, and then we'll go. So, all right, if we'll put the levels on here, and while we're talking about the levels, if you don't use pivots on a cash market, then you're on a absolute hiding to nothing. 65. I'm going to put the highs in now. These are all the pivots in the market on a cash market. Every cash market has them, and if you don't have them, you are trading basically blindfolded because you don't know where all the big institutions are buying and selling from. They use these all the time, and all the professional traders that I know all do the same. So if you're following anybody on YouTube that puts up a cash market and doesn't show you pivots, you know he's not a real trader. Previous highs, 6755.64. Hit this playing catch up. I was trying to get the videos out of the way. Oh, flipping out. We really are close to the close there, aren't we? That's too close to do a closing gap. So this is the whole of the market cash pivot. Today, the ATR on the DAX is 7. We need to be at least 7 pips away, and we're not. We'll save that, and we'll go. We've got a few minutes left. We'll go on to the Dow, and we'll look at how the gap looks on the Dow. Want to rip a new one in gold? We'll look at gold. Gold's been making quite a bit of money today, and we're in making money, locked in. Robots are going as well, and we'll have a review of those. Let's just get these cash pivots installed in and working. We've got 5 minutes before the opening bell. Lots of time. I'll just put these in now. I'll show you where I'm getting all these things from once we get into the rhythm of the trading. Clause is 46,358.42, and previous was 46,816. I want to do an edge for the American markets as well, I think. I'm starting to trade those more and more to that low 4.6. It's hard to be incentivized to do the American markets when you make all the money in the morning. 46,498, that isn't it? 98.3. Right. Oh, yeah, go out on the cloth again. Oh no, we're not. We're quite aware. So the ATR here Minimum ATR needs to be 57, ideal 114 pips away from the close. That's what we really want. Do you know what? A drop under that daily pivot could be pretty good today. 114 is the key, really, into the top here. But I'm going to mark this up because we're between the 114 and 57. 78 and 78, guys. 78 pip stop, 78 pip target. We can look at trading this. Let's have a quick look at where we are with. Right. Boom, 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 indices. Once, right. That'll do it, John. Right, so we're going to put an order in below this daily pivot, just under the daily pivot here. We'll call that 46,436.6, doesn't really matter to a small degree. Now, if the market comes rattling up here, then let's get all these levels correct. That's on a 1 hour. Kind of, the market could do with coming down. If the market comes all the way up, then really we need to follow it up. Camarilla breakout long looks like an obvious target to me on here, but a breakdown, a spike down quickly into the close would be good. But if you look at the market now, it's taking off. We've got a 926 cross up, and the on balance volume is shooting up. So we may well get this market just coming out of the trap pretty quickly. Let's just do a Fibonacci retrace on this. Oh wow! Did you hear that lightning? If everything goes off, then I'm out in the countryside in the middle of Spain, and we've got a massive storm warning for everyone to go to high ground stay. We're going to have the storm of your life, apparently. But forgive the noise. And if the market screen goes black, it means all the power has gone off, which is expected to have a power cut today. Now, I'm going to stay here, but the market this opening, it looks like the market is just taking off. And if the market's going to take off, we do not follow it, which is a little bit of a shame. We do have that gap up more than likely to get close, but we're going to need to pick our time when we're going to close it. That's really, really going on. I think I'm going to put the order at the top of this resistance here, guys. The pivot clearly has been defended and bought. The market's opening in 1 second. So let's see what happens. We're going straight up to our Fibbo 61.8. You can see bang on the nose just about. The market will hopefully now just come down, and we will look to get that gap closed with 78 pips. I'm just using that 78 pips as a general stop, and we're going to adjust it down into that close. Let's see what the market does. You can see how reliable using pivots are and Fibonacci's. The markets really do respect these. I said I forgot things opening. All right, okay. Kevin Moody in Al Maradi. All right, yeah, Kevin, yeah, Al Maradi's you'll be getting pretty wet then, aren't you? It was really bad last night. Hi, Stephen. Hope you had a good week. Yeah, great week, thanks. We've been absolutely tearing a new one on gold. It's been fantastic. Al Maradi, I'm in Catral, so you're probably 2 miles, 3 miles from me. I didn't realize you were in Al Maradi. Yeah, yeah, I'm just in Catral. Hopefully the storms pass quickly. Yes, you are. You're in right. Okay, yeah. It's supposed to be a really bad day today. I'm only about 2 inches from the top of the pool level. We got lightning, but the rain was worse yesterday here. But we'll see. We'll see. Right. Let's put some alerts in and let's see what's happened with the rest of the trade. So I'm going to put an alert for the market to come down a bit further. We don't follow the first 5 minutes of action anyway, and the Dow trade that we do is just the gap trade. Now let's just zoom out a little bit and have a look at where we are. You can see the market is putting in a series of lower highs and lower lows. The pressure is coming to the downside, although on the 4-hour trend marked by the 200 EMA here is to the upside. And if you bring the market down into a 1-hour time frame, it's also trading above that at the moment. So that tells me with the momentum, the unbalanced volume going up, we're going to hit Camarilla breakout long, C-ball. I would like this market, the way the market's looking now on a Friday, I'd like to see an exhaustive count before we get in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk the dog, as we call it, under the 5-minute bar for this close using, do you know what? I think I'm going to go up to the two-day low. If I can get this 78 pip stop beckoning above C-ball. So let's just walk this up with that 78 pip stop. Yes, above C-ball. So I'm just rounding this off, and we're looking for the market to a rejection of C-ball. If it climbs higher, great. Camarilla breakout long is generally a level where the market will have a look at, and people will take profits into this level. So we're going to have a 78 pip stop. I'm going to bring this all the way down for a 1 to 2 risk reward for closing that gap. I'm just going to save that now. I'm going to move these alerts up a little bit higher up into C-ball, see if it hits there first.
Alert triggered.
That's fine. And now we're going to go and have a little look at US 500. Right. That's coming up okay for a closing gap. Right, let's zoom out because we're looking at the US 500, which I'll show you where the gap, when you look at the daily edge, the gaps are all put in here on the previous day where the high, the low, the close is. And then this is pro real time. We've got indication for pro real time and for trading view to identify all where the classic gaps are and the Camarilla gaps, so you can actually know where you're going. Today we've got, this is the average true range, in other words, the speed at which the market and the range it moves. The volatility is the speed. This is the range it moves typically over a 1 day averaged over 5. So, and 30% ATR is where we like to be away from the closing gap to close it. Minimums usually 15% ATR. On the 500, US 500, we'd like 14, but 7 will do. So before we go into this, let's have a look at where we are with, we can do probably a full 14 gap here. 14 pips, I should say. It's a 30% average true range run. So I'm quite happy. That's what it would need. Right, that's what it would need. That's at the max. We can do between 7 and 14. Let's just have a look at where we are with regard to the markets. The markets were down yesterday. The close 0.28 down on the day. Camarilla breakout long seems to be an obvious stopping point. I would really like the market to come down, close that gap first before the market comes down and gives a tap on C-ball, a break up through C-ball. But I would like this if I can put this in here and let the market, we can walk that market on. We'll have put 15 for a stop there. It should be 14. I'm going to put this in as well for a drop into the close. If we can just fit that in there as a drop into the close with a mark above C-ball. I'd like the gap to be closed first before we go on a long jaunt up. But we don't always get what we want. Just have a look at some of the charts here. See where we are. Let's go and have a little look at gold, because I did say we were giving gold a little bit of pain. So we'll go and see if we can extract some more rupees out of gold. So come on. Right, so here we are on gold. We're out here this traded this morning, and the bots have been in and out. I've got a gold futures trade on from 398.9. I've took half off there, and I'm leaving that one to run to 4,100. Although Euro USD, it's coming down quite nicely. We're 18 points into the right. So let's have a quick look. I put this on this morning on the progress. I want to remind myself where we are with progress. Trades outside of the market. Gold, all right. That's gold. Here we are. It was a right, yes, all these gear wheels, these are all the bots. So we're up 36, 11, 3, and then the breakouts at 4,000. Just want to remind myself where we were with so we were 36 up this morning, 31 now, and the bots took some money. The bot must have took some profit there. Just have a little look. Are people in the room got, oh, a lot of the bot traders aren't in the room this afternoon. You know, I'm going to have to switch your bots off, because people are making too much money on the bots and they're not coming in the live trading room. This is why I won't give you the 15-minute bar bot, because everyone will just switch the 15-minute bar bot on and walk away. Be good to be. I know it. Yeah, the aim is to make money, and in trading, and we do that very well. And I do like AI robots, and we've written some fantastic robots that are just absolutely killing the market at the moment, which is really, really good for those who've got the bots. So try to do some manual stuff as well. So I'm going to take this one off from earlier today. I posted 4,000, which was a 15-minute bar. We're going to take that one off, because we've got another 15-minute bar here. Can you see that 15-minute bar there? Flat bottom, 15-minute bar. We are trading above everything that we require on a 15-minute bar. So I'm going to do this very fast. So in the room, you know the pat drill. 15-minute bar at 16 pips, 16 and 16, 1-to-1 risk reward. We're going to hit this now on a 1-to-1 risk reward on the break of that 15-minute bar that's there. Right, so I'll just show you what I mean. There's a 15-minute bar there, the break of that 15-minute bar. So to slow things down a little bit, I want to have a look and show you what I mean about that 15-minute bar. Not for the guys in the room, you've been there, done it, got the t-shirt. I'm just for, if someone's watching this from YouTube and really, well, it's about 13-minute video. 30, yeah, on the 9 EMA, and what we've done is gone for a day's trading and took, if I'd left it overnight, it was 3%. If I hadn't, it was just over, it was 2%. But some very easy trading. You can apply this strategy, the 15-minute strategy, to any asset. Any asset. It is an unbelievable, consistent way of making money in the market. And I'll post it this evening. If you are subscribed to the channel, you'll get an automatic notification that it's in. And if you are watching on YouTube, if you are watching from YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you have a look at it and comment on it, give me some feedback. I answer every single query and question. And if you're not subscribed, if you help, it helps the channel out no end. If you actually subscribe to the channel, I have, for the people that actually watch my channel, 12% of subscribers, the rest are people who are jumping in and out and graze. So what I'm going to be doing moving forward is having sessions just for subscribers. Hidden here. Hey, can your 50 minutes track to be applied to a 1 minute work time? This isn't ideal, isn't it? I always get the hidden. There's always one and you're it. Can your 15-minute strategy be applied to a 1 and 5? Well, it's called a 15-minute strategy for a reason. Any strategy can be applied on any time frame if you know what you're doing. But then it's not a 15-minute strategy. If you're using a 1 minute and a 5 minute, it's something else that we use. And we use those in the room all the time. Yes, we trade 1 minute, we trade 5 minute, we trade 15, we trade an hour. And the strategies for everything. But you can't take one. It's like racing, isn't it? It's like you can't take a slick, put it on a racetrack and think you're going to be race around the track in any weather condition the same. You use a slick for dry weather. When it's a bit damp, you use an intermediate. And use an analogy for F1, and if it's pouring down, they use full wets. So you can't use the same tire for every single part of the race that you're doing. You can't use a 15-minute bar strategy for a 5 and a 1. Doesn't work. You might want to think about fractals or a 9 EMA, but it's a valid question, absolute valid question. But the reason why we call it 15-minute strategy is because it works best on 15 minutes. That's the only reason. And not on candles, on hiking ashy candles, I must stress. So, yeah, I don't mean to rant, but I don't want people to take a 15-minute strategy, try and do it on 5 minutes and say, well, that don't bloody work. Well, it won't because it needs to be done in 15 minutes. I hope that helps. But if you look in my video channels, we've got fractal, you want to be, if you like 1 minute, oh, the dog. Yeah, do you go in the dog, Kevin? Yeah, Dog and Firkin's a good bar. Yeah, we're in Belmonte's last night, actually. Might be going down the dog tonight, actually, for wetting the whistle if it's not raining too much. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah. But yeah, I'll definitely be down the dog on Saturday. Yeah, there's definitely hidden. There's yeah, there's lots of ways for scalping for sure. That we do on 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minutes, generally based around fractals and based around the price action moves using the 9 EMA as a guidance. Yeah, there are lots of ways, but at the moment, I'm going with just using 15-minute because it works so well. We could drop into 5 minutes, but then we're not using 5-minute bars. We'd be using 5-minute frackers. So fractals, we'd be using fractal breakouts like this fractal breakout here. And then when we're using fractal breakouts, we'd also be looking at price actions, which would be price action would be based on where the candle is in relation to the 9 EMA, but also in relation to the overall trend. So the trend is your friend and it's reversing to the top side. If you wanted to go into 1 minute, then you could go into fractals, but you might want to change the closing price on the fractals from a CPA 1 up to CPA 3. And you then need a 9 EMA guidance on that as well. But there are certainly set rules on what we do with that. Take the fractals off. We're not fractal trading on this. So at the moment, we're completely risk-free on this. This had a 24 pip stop on it. and we're trading 2% on that. So we're up over 2% on that this morning, and I'm going to keep that on locked in there. I think that's got some time to run. I do have the robots on BTC. Turn that one off. So I'm running, for the guys in the room, I'm running 2223 and the max win on a 15-minute as well. And it's the max 15 that is actually running at the moment. I've got no other bots running just at this moment in time. They're just for the guys in the gold room. Right. So market's having a little break on balance volume is to the upside, which is probably a good time to show you this daily edge donk. So if you haven't seen this before, that this is something we produce for my trading room, which I've now released it for everyone else to have a look at it. It's published every single morning, round about before 7:30 in the morning, and I identify where the market sentiment is and the reasons why, and then we've got hyperlinks to further reading to back up everything that we say. I show you what happened overnight with the daily closes, cash closes on the major indices, and whether it was an up change or down change from the previous day. We generate summaries on what's happened overnight for oil, gold, silver, and the major forex pairs. I identify where the significant economic events are running today, and if you want to read a little bit more behind them all, they're all there. Then there's an eco calendar. We've got Michigan consumer sentiment at 3 o'clock coming up. Further reading and research if you want to do more research. And then we have the buy and sell recommendations. Now, this is focused for making money for my people in my room, in the community. There's lots of ways of making money, lots of other assets that are good enough to make money. But I kind of highlight somewhere between 3 and 4, maybe sometimes up to 6 a day that are high probability. And what we do is every morning I use my AGI tools, robots that I've written. They go up to 160 different websites. They gather all the information with regard to economic data, what's happened overnight, who's done what to who and why. And then it looks at all the major streams, analysts from like Bloomberg, from Reuters, from all over the place, and it listens to what everyone is saying that's that is forecasting for intraday trading today. I then tell the AI bot to only let me see where there are 3 correlated sources that are all saying the same. So we've got all these people all saying the same, and I prioritize the big blue chips like Bloomberg, Reuters, etc., Market Watch. So long as they agree with what's going on, they then present me with a list of things to buy and sell for the day. I then do a technical overview, make sure everything is right. So I make sure that when we have the buy and sell recommendations, I align all the technicals to align with the geopolitical macroeconomics as well. So all the fundamentals are going in the right direction and the technicals are supporting that. So it gives us the best bang for the buck. And it's pretty rare we don't get it right. Pretty rare indeed. We've already done the FTSE. It did what it said in the can. DAX has already done what it said in the can. Gold is buying the dips, and we've bought the dips and we've been making money. Hopefully we'll continue to make some money. Crude, we'll have a look at crude. That's gone, well, we already looked at crude. It's gone straight through our targets that I identified. So boom, boom, 2 lots of big wins there. Euro USD, I did say we'll have a look at Euro USD, didn't I? Because it was working quite well. And my forecast was 11,547, which we hit yesterday. And I want to run deeper than that. So while we're looking at that, So that's the daily edge. And the daily edge here also has a link in to get the free 15-minute bar as well. So when you get a daily edge, there's a bit of a key at what all these things mean. I might add some more information on this. I also, from time to time as well, I provided for the Daily Edge subscribers a gold and silver analysis on where gold and silver are actually going and what's happening, what to watch out for. That was a 7-page analysis document as well. So from time to time, I give people a heads up. So this is about £10, not about £10. It actually is £10 a month. So it's £2.50 a week, and you get 5 reports a week telling you exactly what's going on. We've lost one day since May. Is that worth £2.50 a week here? You've got to ask. Even if you don't take any of the trades, it's telling you exactly what's going on in the market every single day, overnight, and giving you all the daily pivots as well. So let's go and have a look. So yeah, you can go and get that off my website under news. I think it's under news. If I can go to my website. Here we are. Yeah, HARKO LTD. So if you look under news, there it is, the daily edge. There gives you the edge on the market. It only has 5-star reviews, I believe they are. It's just £10 a month. Need your head ready if you don't get the daily edge. It only has 5-star reviews, so it speaks for itself, really. Have a read, see what you think. Right. Forex. One thing you need to know about me from the YouTube perspective, I am a professional trader. I mean, I live now out of trading, not being a YouTube chatterbox. I come on YouTube to help people. If people want to be helped and want to be consistent, then maybe drop me a line. We can have a chat, see if we both fit. I run a private room where it's a private room where I hopefully try and make people financially free. And not everyone's allowed in it because people might not like the things and my approach, and I might not think people are capable of doing it with regard to commitment. So we always have a Zoom meeting to see if you are interested in being a consistent and profitable trader. If you're a YouTube cruiser, then don't bother sending me a text. If you are on YouTube looking for something that might be real and you want to be a consistent trader and try and make 1% a day, we generally do that in the room every day, sometimes a lot more. But if that's an aim and aspiration you want to get to, and also showing you how to get through prop challenges as well, but that's minor. The first thing is teaching people how to stop losing money and then how to make money consistently. So if that's of interest to you, that's great. I come on YouTube to show people snippets of actually what we do once or twice a week, but we trade at least 6 times a week, sometimes more, and everything is all recorded. We've got about 1.5 terabytes of learning material, videos, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I just want to help people. So if you just want to watch the videos on YouTube, then please do. Ask as many questions as you want because I answer them all. I'm really interested in how people's trading career have gone because there are so many sharks on YouTube promising the world and delivering nothing. And it really annoys me. It shouldn't do what it does. I will. Thanks for coming. Right. So this is a box of interest that we talked about this morning. We wanted the market to rise into there between the 61.8 Fibonacci retrace and the 50% retrace. I did say the interest would be up into here and then trade that down. So I've traded that down. And we're looking for a better than 1-to-1, 11.547. Crude's done its thing today. It's just going to come down further. If you've got the patience for another 3 hours or so on crude, then we might get a a wee pullback, because if we come right out on the 4 hour, look at this, we're all the way. Let's just pull this right out and let's have a look at a monthly view. When's the last time the market was down here? Well, 2021. So the market has really come off. Really has come off. All the targets have been hit now. We've just been smashing this down. And I'll have to have a little and analyze this market really, because I've got that wrong. Although we've hit the targets and made money, I could have made a lot more. Targets were too shallow. The reason that last target at $6.04, the reason for that was markets usually bounce off what we call a BRN, a big round number. And what we generally see is we get front runs sometimes of the BRN, or to hit the BRN, there is a spread. And the spread on crude generally is 3. So my idea was we'd come screaming down at $60 a barrel, a BRN, and we'd get out at 4 pips above, just 1 pip to our advantage before everybody else does. And it made no flipping difference at all today. So you can't really, you can't, well, right, okay. So so you can see what's happened here on the BRN. That's just, because it's always worth looking, I like to review things when you get it wrong. If we get it wrong and make money, great. We made a lot of money going down, that's great. But we still got it wrong as far as finding the bottom of the market. But can you see here? Whoops, if I just zoom this out a little bit, take these frackers off. So get that fracker off. I will get rid of the 4-hour resistance, and the 4-hour resistance is always denoted by a mustard line. And we look at this BRN. Can you see that market came down, that long wick? This is where obviously people taking profit. We've got the market coming down, hit the big round number, 6,000, and people have started taking the profit and the markets come up. But as you can see, from a technical point of view, which is really, really important, we've got the EMAs from 1 minute all the way through to daily, that the market's screaming short. Price action is screaming short, and the bears have kept this going. Now, one of the things, who was it? I think it might have been Hayden that was talking about 1 minute and 5 minute. If you want to extend a trade, if you are in the simple of 1 minute trading, then one of the things to settle your nerves down, because my nerves are not making enough money. I never enter a trade thinking it might or might not work. I always enter a trade thinking it's going to work. My nervousness is that I'm not going to exploit it enough. I'm not going to wring its neck for every rupee I can get out of it. So I get a bit annoyed when I see things like this, where I've missed all that move. So if you are trading short and your strategy is short, one of the tools that are very, very important to you as a trader, one, need your head ready if you're not using Aikanashi. The next one is Aikanashi with a 9 EMA. So long as you are trading under 9 EMA, in other words, you're with the trend and the price action is with the trend. In this case, it's down. You are trading under the 9 EMA, and you do not come out of the market ever until the market reverses back through the 9 EMA and closes above it. So this is your target. If I was sat on oil and I wasn't teaching people and training and mentoring and stuff, and I was sat on oil, I'd be sat on here watching a 9 EMA. And that's my conscience. That is my emotion. That is my trigger to get out. I'm waiting for the market to tell me when it's had enough, not when I think it's had enough, because the market is always right. No matter how you think, the market's always right. You're not. You are one trader amongst hundreds of thousands. Hard to hear, I know, because I always think I'm right, and the market regularly proves I'm wrong. But we get it right more often than not, consistently, and that's what counts. So you can see here, if you were trading from high up like we were this morning, you're trading and trading and trading, and you do not come out until then, this candle here. So if you were following my targets on the daily edge, you think, hey, Steve, this is not good. Your target's not flipping good. I'm going to leave a runner. You leave your runner, and you're down here, and you're down here, and you're down here. That's when you start getting a bit twitchy, when the wicks start breaking through. But it's not over until you get that close. There's a close on the wick. There's a close above. So you get yourself an extra 52 points. Fantastic. I won't labor the point because it's not a teaching room. We're just streaming on YouTube. But little tip, 9 a.m. is your friends. Ah, Jordan, yeah, great. Hi there, I'd like to have a Zoom meeting with you. How do I set this up? You know what? I don't know. People just generally email me. If you email me at I don't know, you will be able to find this all over the place, but I'll type this in at my personal one, harkoltd.com. There we are. If you, Jordan, if you email me at that address, or anybody else, if you want to, we'll do a one-to-one Zoom call, and I'll show you in a more relaxed manner exactly what we do, the learning center, the trading room, the things and the tools and the AI we use. We use lots and lots of AI in this room to identify trades, to monitor trades, to give us information, and to see if it's something that might be of interest to you. So if anyone's interested, email me on the stephen.paxton@harkoltd.com. Right. We'll have my little rant on crude now. But crude, yeah, it is certainly selling into strength. So you can see we've done two massive phase waves there on crude on the 1 hour. So another little tip using Fibos as well, you can actually do a forecast of where the 100% Fibo might be. So based on the phase waves, and obviously this is where our trading started earlier on today. But if we do a Fibonacci expansion tool, for instance, we can go for the high there to the low, and we can go right to the top there, and that will give us the 100% phase wave target for the Fibo. So rather than now we've got more information, we can now see where possibly the 100% target could have been. Quite interestingly there, as it happens, the market's tried to push lower, but has really closed out on the 100% Fibo. So you can see it's now on an exhaustive count for a phase wave. What I mean by a phase or a wave, the market's only moving two directions. You're going to go up or they go down. They don't do anything else. So there's a wave one. The wave one of phase one, the number one count is always in the direction of the prevailing trend. So we've got my pen. And people outside the room on YouTube, forgive me, I'm useless with my pens. Let's see if we can have a wiggly pen. I'll do. So there's a wave one, pull back two, and another wave one. You never ever take into account a single candle that's different with Heikin Ashi. If you change this to normal candles, they'll be all over the place. But with Heikin Ashi, you never ever take any notice of just one candle on its own. So you got a nice wave, bounce, wave two, bounce, wave one, and now you're looking for a wave two. Now, the other rule, of course, here is people all sigh when I start to draw this box because they know what I'm going to do. When the market's going to a consolidative phase like this, nearly always, 8, 9 times out of 10, when they're going to that phase here, they always exit in the way they actually entered. So remember that. Another tip, 9 EMA tip, phase wave tip, Fibonacci extensions or expansions, if you want to call them that. The other little tip we can do here is the market's run down. We want to see impulsively how this market's doing. So last time, These are all just little bits of information you can measure. So we had a 40 pip pullback. So we'd expect after a large extension, at least a 40 pip pullback. And at the moment, we're around about 49. The next big target here would be, where's the next large target here? Would be a run of the BRN. And of course, 3 pip spread. So you want a BRN target of around about 5,904. And now we want to see how can we get this? Well, from this line here, that tells me where the market has stopped before the 5,900 level. So if you are keen oil traders, and if you think the market's going to come down further, which it is, then you need to be looking at ways to get into oil. Now, we don't trade oil on a 1 hour. Just show me that so we put our candles in. We can drop into a 15-minute level, which is quite nice on oil. And you can see quite clearly here, there's 15-minute fractals here. Oh, I'll put them on for you and show you. So fractal breakouts on oil are really good on 15 minutes. Very good. So you can see you've got a fractal break here, but we're too close to 5,904. So the strategy on a 15-minute here isn't going to be a 15-minute fracker. There's the base level. We've got 58 pips there, and the stop here is 70. So I haven't got a 1-to-1 down. You might get a 15-minute bar, which, if you get a 15-minute bar, you need to get a 1-to-1. When you get down to 5,904, drop it down to 1 to 2 minutes. On your EMA, 9 EMA, here gone. And ride it. For guys in the room, if you want to do the Clint Eastwood trade on a 2 minute using the 9 EMA, that's absolutely fine. What I would do is have your stops above that swing low, guys, a swing high here, and just keep trading that until the market tells you it's had enough or you hit your target. So there's some just for the room. If you want to drop into 5 minutes, well, you can when you've got a large movement and the market is impulsively going your way, then you can use 5-minute fractals in oil as well. So we've got a fractal break here on oil. What you could do is take another fractal. So the fractal break is a break of the fracker here, a direct break of the fractal. And your stop would be the spread, 23 plus 3, 26 plus 1, 27. And the reason you do the spread plus 1 pip is when the market's coming up, if it does a double tap and you don't account for the spread plus an extra 1 pip, that double tap, because of the spread, will knock you out. Having that little extra 1 pip wiggle room sometimes saves your life. So 27 pips with the next target down here of 79. Now, if you want to, the bus, the train has left the station, but it's never too late for a good trade if you can see where we are now. You can see the 34, round that to 35 plus 3 is 38, and the other one is 39. Do we have 39 into there? Yes, we do. This is what you call your gut strategies. You believe in them. It's totally unemotional. The trade is there. Bang. There's no question about it. You just do it.
Order rejected.
Right. What am I doing here? I've restricted myself on my account here. So can I trade that? Is that IG rejecting me? Let's have a quick look. Yes, that's IG rejecting. All right. We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 trades running. So that's a little bit on the limit. I didn't realize we'd done 7 on the bounce. So what I try and do is restrict myself to the same as the restriction we have on in the training room. So in the training room, what I say, it's a training and trading room. We try and restrict ourselves to generally a 2K account. So we're not trading everything we can get. We have to actually focus. And unfortunately, that's got it's the markets felt my collar there and said, look, you can't do that. Because I don't want to trade more than my students can. I want the same restriction as my students. So I can't trade that at the moment, not at a full 1%, because the margin requires too much money. So just going to have to sit that one out. The reason for that is one of the things that really brings the margin in is using and trading Wall Street. I'm just looking now. We're in Wall Street and we're in the US 500. We're on American session. If you want to trade this, then you can. 39.39, taking you down to here. If you just bear with me 1 minute, I do have a cunning plot. In other words, another trading account, which I'm just going to bear with me 1 minute. I just want to put that trade on. Just to make sure I'm actually doing that trade because it's a good trade. I'll take 2 minutes. The target is 5.9. Bear with 1 minute. Just going to set that up. It's already cashed out, but I'm going in right. Take profits. So take profits as euro. Right, crude. So I've got euro USD up here. Crude. What am I doing? Bear with 1 minute. Try to trade multiple accounts at once doesn't really work too well. Crude. Right, that's better. Crude. I'm selling the market. I'm going to put a stop loss here at 6, 7, 8, 10. Selling the market. And we're looking at 5.9 or 4 to get money out. And let's stick 10 lots on that. Okay. Right, we're back. Let's go and have a look at what's happened with the Dow, the trades that we put on for that gap close. We were looking at an exhaustion into C-ball. So we're bashing the C-ball. The market's returned. It's coming back down. It's clicked us in, and we are looking for a 2% risk reward trade on closing that gap. With 24, 25 pips up means nothing just yet. Once the market comes down into the daily pivot, so pivot boys will be trying to buy this up, I'd imagine. We'll put an alert down into the pivot and then remove our stop to entry and reduce our risk. 500, US 500. Right, we're looking at a 14 here. Again, Camarilla breakout long, bonk, hit the Camarilla breakout long, and the market come off. If you need to we do this day in, day out, you can see having these pivots, the market really does respect these. And if you are trading without them, then you need your head read. It's easy to do the classic pivots. If you get the edge, they're on the edge every single day. They're on the edge every single day. And it tells you exactly where these points are. And you put the EOD cash pivots. I'm using a charting package called Pro Real Time. Anyone can get it from any country in the world. It attaches to a few different brokers. The brokers I'm using at the moment are IG Index in the UK, and they provide Pro Real Time. If you trade regularly, twice a month, that's buy and sell. It's free, and it makes TradingView look like Legoland. It is far superior. Very, very configurable, very programmable. It is really, really good package. And they don't really advertise too much at all. I think most people have a crack at TradingView. Nothing wrong with TradingView. Nothing wrong with it at all, really. But if you want a good trading package, you need Pro Real Time. It will change your trading completely because the graphics are good. The information it provides are really, really good. And it's not full of idiots. You putting all sorts of daft comments in the back of TradingView and trying to persuade you to do all sorts of things. It's a professional package for people who want to be professional traders, really. So once we get to halfway, guys in the room, remember halfway, we put our stops to entry. What I mean by halfway for the guys in I was going to say TradingView, in YouTube, is once we get halfway to our profit target, what we don't want to do is then get stopped out because we get buyers in a positive market. So at the moment, we've got the market going to the top side. We are trading against the trend, which is the most dangerous thing to do in closing the gap. You really want to trade with the trend. You ideally want to be under the close to trade up to the close with the trend and boom, close that gap. But we're trading against it, so we've got to be careful. One thing we have to be careful of, the American markets are absolutely full of buy in the dip traders, daily pivot traders, fed in the fill traders. We have a famous name in the room. I don't know whether he's actually sat in here watching. I won't say his real name, but he has a nice name tag called Mickey Long, and he's really good at trading the S&P. And the thing is, he only can buy long. But there are so many people trade the S&P, can only go long, they can't fundamentally short a market. And it's full of Mickey Longs. So as soon as they see consolidation like this, they'll start to buy. The pivot traders that trade the pivot every day, which is an old established strategy. So what people will do is they'll wait for the pivot. So there's a daily pivot, and they will buy the pivot and put the stop under the swing low here. And that's what they'll do. And that's what they do every single day. They buy the pivot, put the stop under the low, and then just buy five buys a week, and then ideally close out in a profit at the end of the week. And if you are a S&P trader, if you did that consistently, I think the market rises 52% of the time. Statistically, you'll just make money doing that. It won't be a lot of money, but you'll consistently do really well. We had one of the traders in the room that the guys in the room know. He bought a new car out of doing that last year. Right. So if we were stopped out risk-free, absolutely fine. I would still like to buy off the close and the 15-minute bar. I will not tolerate, once it's moved halfway, to then lose money on a bit of a pullback. If we get stopped, it doesn't matter. It's not the thing you got to get into your psyche as a day trader is you have strategies that work more often than not, 70-80% of the time. So when it doesn't quite work, doesn't matter. It just means you then improve your statistics for your next trade. And if you can lose while making money, that's even better, or at zero cost. So if this market is bought up by the pivot boys here, and then produces a 15-minute bar as well, then all the better. But while we're streaming live and I'm trying to do multiple markets for people, I'm not trading on my own. If I was trading on my own, I'll tell you what I would do. I would have my stop following the flat top of the Ikenashi bar there. That's what I would do. But since we've made shed load of rupees this morning, we don't really need to do that. But for people who are watching just the American session, trading just the American session, you haven't had the benefit of all the wins this morning. So you might want to put your stop above that flat top. The markets immediately accept that as their highest point after a reversal of candle breakout long. And looking at this structure, this market is going to close that gap. The issue we've got here, have we been too tight with our risk management? That's just the issue, but I can't get too excited about that. Let's see what, I'll save that view. Let's see what we're doing with the Dow. Dow, well, we've got big indecision bars here, and that big indecision bar. The reason I didn't mention economic news today is all the big news really should have come out today is NFP. I don't think people are going to be too excited about consumer sentiment, and of course, no, they're not. It's not done anything really interested in interest rates and jobless claims. That's what the real drivers are. So these markets very indecisive around limit risk, US consumer inflation expectations. Right. So American markets, they are what they are. We're going to trade those into the close if we can, and we're going to look for a 15-minute bar if we can. Gold. I'm going to have one look at gold. But yeah, I do the American opening bell club, try and close the gap. So we're not here to just sit and try and get run time on subscribers. We're here to trade. So what we're going to hear, we have been stopped out on our 15-minute bar trade here. So look at this here. So we did get stopped down here. Really, really nice bar. And another nice bar doesn't work all the time. Look at that. That was roughly the trade. So we lost on that trade. Doesn't matter about this one, it's protected and we're 2% up anyway. But that's nevertheless, we don't like to lose trades. But what we do need to do is have a look at why we actually lost it. The only thing we've got with as far as momentum is concerned is that we didn't trade it on the 15-minute with the 9 EMA as well as the 200, but it was as close as it can get. So I'm not making excuses for it. That trade just lost. It's a wrong trade to do. Now, let's just zoom out. Is there anything we could have gleaned on that on the longer term? I'll turn the views off so it's clean and we can see. So you could argue the 15-minute bar in this volatile time was, it looks like with the indecision we've got through these 4-hour bars, is a difficult pill to swallow. We are overcooked, we are oversold on the stock. This market clearly is getting ready to go. On the trend, it is long. On the price action, it is still bearish. It's still bearish because it's trading under the 9 EMA on the 4-hour. So if you're a swing trader or you're a 4-hour chart trader, then really you do not want to be trading long on a price action that is clearly coming down. If you're a support and resistance trader, then you would have bought off the bottom here anyway. Stops would be on this under the swing low, on like we'd be doing this trip. That's what we did here. The stops were under here, 24 pips. So from a 4-hour perspective, looks like the market's big indecision. We are getting quite a few buyers coming in. We're getting on the ATR, 5-day ATR, you can see the participants are rising, but the market on a 15-minute is clearly bearish. Let's drop it down into 10 minutes to see, because we're going to be trading on 15. Wow. There's some big flashes there. I don't know if you've got those in Almirada, Kevin. I didn't realize you were so close. Funny old world, isn't it? And then Stuart's on his way down Stuart's, I think he's in Madrid, and he's on his way down to Alicante soon. So I'm 20 minutes from 25 minutes from Alicante, and probably 5 minutes from Almaty. In fact, I'll be in Almaty tomorrow morning, actually, going to Lidl, get some steak. Right, I'll stop waffling. So on the 1 hour, let's see what the 1 hour gives us, because we're day traders and we trade using 1 hour and 4 hour directions. Now, you can see quite clearly here at 9 o'clock this morning, we started printing above the 9 EMA, which is really, really nice. And the price action right here on the opening, with the 1 hour on the opening bell between 1 and 3 o'clock, just turned slightly negative. And, you know, we're knocked out. We are overcooked, overbought on the 1 hour stock. It's had this in little impulsive move. If this is the bottom, then we can use our little tools to understand where the market's going. Again, 1 bar down we don't use for Fibonacci. I'm going to do a Fibonacci now. So don't use a 1 bar difference on Fibonacci expansions. So let's go to the real bottom and pull this down to here, and we can see where the projection is. Now, if you don't believe me, put a bar it. I'll put a target in here. This is the target we had this morning. That's roughly the 100% level. And don't be surprised if that target is hit tonight. 4030. And then call me that I'm wrong in the comments later on. So there's that. If that bottom holds, that's where the market is going to go the rest of the day, at least there. Let's drop into 15 minutes, because this is really our first, if we don't do support and resistance, this is our first signal area that we're kind of, oh, what the heck's happened here? Look at that 9 EMA, something's going on with IG. Wow. Let's just try and refresh the page a bit and put it back on the 15-minute. There we go. Something went a bit awry there. So what we're looking for here, let's just take this as 15-minute bar territory. There was a 15-minute bar this morning, quite clearly great, quite clearly lost. Look at that. That's if you're up at that time. None of us were up at that time, of course. There's another 15-minute bar there. Market closed above 9 EMA. Again, the strategy, obviously that worked. The strategy, I am butcher closed. Yeah, the butchers, yeah, Kevin, yeah, the butchers in have closed in the Aldi in Almaty, which is an absolute shame because there's really good butchers there. But I like the stacked, the pre-packed meat, cart meat in there, because I cube it up and put it on skewers in a barbecue with some peppers, and it's quite good meat actually in Aldi, in the not Aldi, in the little pre-packed. It's pretty good. But yeah, it's a shame the butcher's closed there. So that one there was a breakup. There was another breakup here. But yeah, I will get times it now 15:30 to 14:30 at the moment, Spanish. So I'll after about an hour after this close. Hey Pep, how you doing, mate? So a trucker heading home, maybe. He's either on the M62 or on the M6, I would guess, either shooting up and down the country or going across the country. So there's another 15-minute bar. Now, when you get 15-minute bars like this, I always get really nervous because they're flipping big bars, lines. But nevertheless, the trade is the trade, and there's another one there. So that one lost, of course, but we wouldn't have been taking that anyway. I always start from 5:30. So there's one there that would have won. We've already won these already, but I'm just going through what would be on offer. There's another one there. And there's another one there. That one lost. We've just traded that live, and yeah, we've just traded that one live. They're the trades. These gear wheels are robots, so ignore the gear wheels. They're just gold robots, and they're doing reasonably well. Has anyone in the room, Brian or Paul, you use those? Oh, hi, Rory. Cheers, mate.
I don't trade with robots now.
Have you been doing the back testing on any of those to see how they've been doing?
I've got to use TradingView because of where I'm situated. I can't use the brokers that on PRT.
All right, okay. Right. What time have I got time to run one? I don't know where we were. I'll tell you what, we'll just run a quick one just for interest. 15 minutes. Let's pull some data up, maybe 100,000 units. You want to run it for this year. Gold has been up 53% this year. I'm going to see what the robot did on 15 minutes on the run. PRT, pro order, display, trading systems, gold. And this will be a good demonstration. We've got bots that are called bowling balls, which is a fractal engine that when the market sets up, we send it down the alley and it goes and blasts all the skills and gives us some money. Then we've got some fire and forget ones. One called a win max, one called a max win, and one called a max gain, I think. So let's just open that one up. So this is a bit of code that trades on the 15 minutes. So let's go and have a look and run this from the beginning of the year. See if we can do it time now. Friday. Can we get this all the way back to January? January. Well, I'll tell you what, I will have to load it up with load the system up with some more data. Couple 100,000 units. Let's just do the max. So it's pulling the data as much as we can. There we go. Pull the data through. So real time today, earliest date possible. It's not doing it, is it? Bloody stupid IG. Plain silly bugger there. I thought so we can't do anything with it. It's not working. I thought something was wrong when we had that 9 EMA go right. It's just IG bugging about in the background. Which those comments will make me unpopular with IG, but maybe if they provided a consistent service, we wouldn't be complaining. So, oh, where's my trade gone? Oh, heck. In the middle of all my pressing buttons, have I gone and cancelled the trade? History. Flipping heck. I've gone and cancelled my flipping trade. Well, it's 2%. So mid 2%. Bugger. Yeah, I'm clicking the buttons. So yeah, I generally consider myself a decent user of pro real time, but I'm gonna knock myself out for 2% profit, which is all right. The robots are still in. So I can feel a rant coming on, but that's my fault. It's my fault. So if we're gonna trade for the rest of the day, this bottom needs to hold. If this bottom holds, then 40-30, looking at the price action, is going to be a possible target to get. We do need a 15-minute bar here. When I get off here, I will have a drink, coffee, and I will then get back on and finish the video. I'm working on where is it? if you see the article, where's my mouse? I'll just open this up. Which screen have I got these on? Thumbnails. Wish I could do better thumbnails. Thumbs. 15-minute bar. That's a rubbish thumbnail. Need to work on that better. That'll be the thumbnail. It's looking a bit crap at the moment, but if you see something like that in the next hour or two, it's a complete guide to the 15-minute bar entry system, and it takes you over a full day of trading. And yeah, it's pretty rubbish that. I need to do something with it, so I will. 15-minute bar is the order of the day here to actually to trade. US 500, we got stopped out for no loss, no gain. We'll go and have a look at the American markets. 15-minute bar above the 9 EMA again here. We would like to do that. One thing, observations here is that we are walking downhill at the moment. You can see here the markets coming slightly down. So I would like a nice positive flat bottom above this 9 EMA here. Ideally, we want to break some structure here to get going again. Ideally, that needs to be held. And a 15-minute bar, you could put 0.5% on and add 0.5% once we break this high here. Because what we're doing then is breaking structure. You've got the waves going down, up, up. And that one was our first morning shot across the bows. We lost because we were trading with the trend, but against structure. So just be careful on that one. US 500, that still needs a gap close. Oh yeah, we've been in this machine too long, I think. So the pivot boys had bought this up, and it's been stopped for no loss or no gain. So that's yeah, that's okay. We can go for that trade again. Market's negative. Can we get a 14 pip trading again on there? No, we cannot. And I don't want to risk the pivot boys. If we're further up than we would. So what I'll leave this gap alone, I think, especially in the room for trading it quietly on your own, then you might want to do something a little bit different. But I'll put an alert on the pivot, and I'll be looking for a 15-minute bar on that. And I'll be looking for the 15-minute bar. I'll be looking for a camera breakout long trade and heading up. If we're looking at the pivots and looking at phase waves at the moment, and if we do get a close, then we can make some assertions on where that will go. So bringing the market back down to the close. And that would give us a bullseye target area of 100% there into Camarilla breakout longs. That's where the market will probably go to, at least today, once it reverses its momentum. There is no news that is that adverse. It's going to stop this market trundling up into that area there. So that's a box of interest. Again, if this doesn't happen, call me out. We are here to trade, and we're here to learn and hopefully learn of each other. We want to be consistent, profitable traders. That's why we're here. Kevin Moody, gotta go. Thanks for the media. We'll watch your new video over the weekend. Stay dry. Cheers, Kevin. Thanks. Thanks, Kevin. I should have gone myself. Got visitors and they'll be wondering where the heck I am.
Steve, I've just sent you a screenshot from a back test on the goals.
Where have you sent it to?
On the chat in Zoom.
Oh God, you're asking me to understand how to use that. Forgive it.
No worries.
Let's have a look. See what I can see two chats there. Paul Scouser. Maybe this helps. Just run it. I can't see. There it is. There's a picture. This is off one of the traders in the room. Oh, right. Well, that's doing better now, isn't it? Yeah, it was at 80 something percent, wasn't it? 80, 85 or 86. It's up 93% win rate. And again, if you remember this morning, Paul, I said about September is really bad for fire and forget bots. Bowling balls, great, but fire and forget bots just do not like. September is a horrible month. You just don't trade bots in September, fire and forget, really. But kind of got away with it there, 0.4% loss, but up 93% for the day. And as you look, we're using 2K for the accounts. So it's done really, really well. Thanks for that, Paul. Don't know how mine won't run it. But
Don't
yeah,
worry.
thanks for doing that. And at least people might believe it now because someone independent from me did it.
There you
So yeah,
go.
good. So that's just one of the bots, and we've got 4 running. So, probably looking at making over 200% bank just on the bots alone, and probably doing a lot better than that trading gold alone. We've had monster days last week. I hit double figures in a day a couple of times trading gold, and that's not risking the bank, that's risking 2%. So we're looking for a 15-minute bar on here to go along. Ideally, we're going to buy somewhere around the pivot, somewhere on the close. If we go back up to C-Bolt, we drift up there. And I mean, if it takes, what time's it now? Kind of an hour and a bit into it. So in 3 or 4 hours' time, in other words, around about 7 o'clock UK, if we're on C-Bolt, then I would short that to close the gap. The Dow, that's the other gap trade that we've currently got. And with 40 points to the benefit coming down on that. So stop to entry on that, guys, now as well. And that's the only trades we do on the Dow are gap trades. Watch out for the pivot boys again on the daily pivot. Has anyone got any questions before I go? Hope it's been informative and okay. And we'll make the Friday afternoon opening bell a regular event. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me and have a Zoom talky bit over the weekend, we're when we can talk a little bit more relaxed, then all the better. No questions from anyone? All right. Thanks everyone for coming. And I will
Thanks, Steve.
Thank
next
you.
week.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.